everyone, and welcome back. Thank you so much for waiting, and welcome to the show that asks you to pull out your chairs, get out your TTRPG books, and join us at the table. And speaking of TTRPG books, we are talking today about the book that came out last week, the Mwangi Expanse from Paizo, official. First of all, the artwork on this thing is amazing, and the cultures they go into is so incredible. And we are going to probably be discussing this for a little bit, not just today, but we'll see how we go on in the future as we kind of review it and discuss it with you guys directly. But first, let's introduce these two people, the boys, as you see them here. Starting with Mr. Michael Powell. Tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
First of all, remember, PJ, it's boys with a Z. Because we are that extreme.
Yeah, with a Z for extreme.
But anyway, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. And how about you?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Come find me, come friend me, let's have some fun. That being said, let's start it. Now, the book came out, the Mwangi Expanse, I think sometime last week. There is, I'm probably wrong on this number because I forgot off the top of my head, 6 ancestries, I want to say, about 5 or 6?
There is, you know what? Do you mind if I just go through some of the stats real quick?
Please give us the numbers. I love the numbers.
All right. Well, there are 6 ancestries. You are correct there. And then we have 28 ancestry heritages. We have a sorcerer bloodline, 9 deities, 4 new equipments, a whopping 86 feats, 10 new languages, 22 monsters, 3 new traits, and 2 new weapons.
Yeah, so if you're thinking this is just going to be a lore book, first of all, yes, you're right. You're going to learn a lot about the Mwangi Expanse, about this rich Proto-African culture that they are pulling from, that's also going to be in one of their campaigns I think just came out recently as well. But you're also getting so much content to create characters, your OCs, and enrich your homebrew and natural worlds, like lore-based worlds. This book is insane. It is 300 pages, and it is worth every page.
Oh, 300 plus, PJ.
300
let's not just say 300. 300 plus.
300 plus pages of this bad boy. And today we're just going to be covering 2 ancestries, the Anandi and the Konrasu, out of the 6. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. The new feats for classes means that if you want to build your monk, now you have more monk potential to build. And who knows, maybe we'll go back and cover that too. We'll cover that too.
I will say this. There is a new ancestry in this book that I'm a big fan of. Should I reveal now, or should I reveal it when we actually get to it?
Why don't we reveal it when we get to it? That way I feel like it's more like in the nature of the conversation. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the Anandi and the Konrasu, not just as what they are lore and culture, but what they are mechanically, building-wise, what you can do with these classes or ancestries, even if you're not in the Mwangi Expanse. So the first one we're covering today is the Anandi. Now, or the Anadi, I should say. If that kind of brings up any flags to mind, think of Anansi, the spider, and you're correct 1,000%. This is definitely based upon that old story about the spider trickster god and, the kind of lessons he was trying to teach people and gods. But we're going to learn more about this and how it's definitely a unique thing. If you don't mind, Michael Powell, may I start off by reading the fluff?
Go for it. All
right. Now, the Anadi is a rare Anadi humanoid ancestry. They are in the Mwangi Expanse. You can find them somewhere on page 103. The Anandi people are reclusive, sapient spiders who hail from the jungles of southern Garund. Though they act in many ways like natural-born shapeshifters, their twin forms actually stem from carefully developed magic. As a communal and peaceful people, Anadi, there's no second N, Anadi ancestors endeavored to establish trade with the neighbors of their homeland. However, these Anadi soon learned that most others found their appearance to be extremely objectionable. They are walking 6 feet spider people, after all. Wishing to avoid conflict, ancient Anadi retreated into isolation until they could find a solution. The answer came when their greatest scholars innovated a fusion of transmutation and illusion magic that allowed them to assume a humanoid form. The technique was developed, perfected, and eventually taught to the overwhelming majority of Anadi. Early efforts with their new approach to diplomacy have yielded much better results, though sporadic contact means that some outsiders whisper false legends about Anadi, such as claims that they are humans who transform into monstrous spiders at moonrise. Even contemporary explorers have reported Anadi as human-spider hybrids. The Anadi people of the current day strive to slowly but surely create a world where they no longer need to hide their true nature. So this is a fascinating group of people who are just basically, the way I look at it, it's like Lucas the Spider. Just a sweet little arachnid who wants to be friends.
For me, I kind of want to say they remind me of at least the way they're being described here, kind of like the Kitsune in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, except instead of a fox, it's spider.
Yeah, I think so. And this is just, again, giving you that vibe of their culture. You know, they're diplomats, they're sweethearts, they're powerful mages. They definitely want to try and fit in. And it seems like, I think the big difference is the Kitsune want to do it because there's a level of, I think, power they get from blending in entirely. Whereas the Anadi just want friends. You know, they're like, we just don't want people to be scared of us when we come into the room as 6 feet massive spiders. I mean, let's be real.
Fair.
That's super ooky. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair. Like I said, fair.
Yeah. So Anadi. That's the culture fluff. There's other things like some recommendations, like you might only reveal your true form to people who have earned your trust. So if you want to play that character of like a little bit of an edgelord of like, oh, this is who I really am, Bella. You know, you could do this. Please don't make that choice if you can. Openly express sympathy for misrepresented and unfairly stigmatized cultures. Provide for those you hold dear and defend them from danger without hesitation. Others probably assume you have an affinity for druidic magic, giving your ability to transform, have a strong reaction to seeing your natural form, because again, big spider, and appreciate your willingness to seek non-violent solutions to complicated problems. These people are very passionately envoys as a way of survival and peace. So that's I think a very respectable basis.
All right, well, let's jump into the crunchy bits with the mechanics. Do you want us to go through that, PJ?
Of course. Do you want me to go through that? You probably just said it. My brain just fart and forgot. Do you want me to read that, or do you want to read that?
Oh, you know what? Like I said, why don't you take care of the Anadi, and I'll take care of the Konrasu.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then I'll do this bad boy. The Anadi. So if you decide to choose the Anadi, you're going to get 8 hit points. You're a medium-sized creature, speed 25 feet. Your ability boosts are Dexterity, Wisdom, and 1 free boost of your choice. That's 3 boosts at level 1. Your ability flaw is Constitution. You know, maybe don't choose Anadi for
a
tanks.
Barbarian.
Yeah, which is interesting, though, because they have pretty hardy hit points.
Yeah.
Now, the languages we're going to be speaking with the Anadi is Anadi language itself, the Mwangi language, the local African dialect, as well as additional languages equal to your intelligence modifier. If positive, you get to choose from Draconic, Elven, Knoll, Iruxi, I'm probably butchering that, Orcish, Sylvan, and any other languages to which you have access that are prevalent in your region. So this is also good for like homebrew stuff. So like if you're trying to play a spider person OC in the homebrew world's like, no, you're in New York. You're going to be speaking New York. You get a power called Change Shape. This is an arcane concentrate polymorph transmutation. Another reason not to play an Anadi Barbarian. Because if you rage, you cannot use other abilities with the concentrate trait. So the minute you rage, you transform. And listen to what you want. Change shape. You change into your human or spider shape. Each shape has a specific persistent appearance. If your human shape, in your human shape, you can't use unarmed attacks granted by your ancestry. You aren't flat-footed when climbing in your spider shape. However, in your spider shape, you can't use weapons, shields, or other held items of any sort. And you are limited in what actions you can take that have the manipulate trait. The only manipulate actions you can take are cast a spell with somatic components, weave silk or webbing, or simply interact actions such as opening an unlocked door. Your spider legs can't perform actions that require fingers or significant manual dexterity, including any action that would require a check to accomplish. The GM may determine the other manipulate actions are appropriate for your spider legs. So what I think is really cool about this power, besides it's a free transformation power, is that the rules is written, when you are in your spider form, you can use webs. I don't think it functions like the spell, but you can make webs.
You're Spider-Man.
You're Spider-Man, yeah, exactly.
You're Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, where he had the natural shooters and not like the... Yeah. Now, you also get fangs. You were born with a natural means for hunting and self-defense. You gain fangs... the fangs unarmed attack that deals 1d6 piercing damage. Your fangs are in the brawling group and have the finesse and unarmed traits. So you have a natural weapon. Always love natural weapons. They're about as strong as a monk punch. So no matter what you're playing class-wise, you will have a decent means of self-protection. That's pretty good.
PJ, I do have a question about that change shape ability, though. It does say contrary, but... Is it contrary of as you're turning into a spider? Once you're in your spider form, do you still need a contrary to hold that form or not?
You know, that's weird because it does say the concentrate trait, but it doesn't say on what way that shift requires concentration.
Yeah, because
I would imagine only in human form you have to concentrate.
Because I am wondering if, well, it says you actually can cast a spell, but I'm also wondering if you're in a spider form, can you rage as a spider? So basically, just spaz out and attack somebody as a little spider.
I mean, in theory, yeah. If you rage, what you can do, you would transform into your spider form, and then you'd get the benefits of rage. But you'd be doing natural attacks, which could be good if you make an Anadi, who is a nature instinct barbarian, and then just gets a natural attack.
I mean, you already have kind of a natural attack with fangs.
True, but it's a 1d6. With the animal one, you can get like wolf or tiger and get like sharp claws and a sharp jaw. You
could be a wolf spider, or you could be you could be one of those big Australian spiders.
Like, almost putting this out there in case you need some nightmare fuel today. The Anadi in their true form, in their actual form, resemble human-sized spiders with a variety of colorations. Some tones look simple or muted. So when they transform into their real self, they are a 6.5-foot tall arachnid. Yeah. Now imagine that thing raging and growing the fangs of a wolf, and then just screaming after you.
I mean, I do have some friends from Australia who have went camping in the outback and shown me pictures of some of the big spiders they have out there. I'm like, nope. Yeah,
that's a nope from me, dog. Now I love the idea of just this adorable gigantic spider who's like, I just want to be friends, and then transforms to look like a human with spider features to try and do that. It's super heartwarming and
basically
wholesome.
Like the spider from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that spider was more about eating people than making friends.
Yeah. Oh, I also like what Reap Psyche here posted. Giant instinct in spider form. Goliath bird eater spider.
Yeah, that's horrible. I also love what SG1 was saying. Yay, thank you, PJ. You're welcome, SG1. I hope you like that nightmare fuel. Urban Dragon Dice. Kitsune have a divine mission. They represent the kami and gods in their origins. Anadi are survivors who are saved by Grandmother Spider. Yes, that is 1,000% right. Thank you for bringing that up. That is actually a big part of not just the Anadi story, but of the Mwangi Expanse. Grandmother Spider definitely is present in the Mwangi Expanse, in this world. She's one of the many gods that we mentioned earlier has been added. And she's not a passive god, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
But that being said, so we've kind of gone over the crunchy stuff and a little bit of the fluff for these this ancestry. I think the next thing to do is to hit the heritages.
Yep. Let's check them
Do you
out.
want to start with that?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have the adaptive Anandi. You descend from a line of Anandi who work to perfect their transformation magic, allowing them to integrate into a wider variety of cultures. Choose a common, medium humanoid ancestry. Your human form is replaced with a form that matches this choice. You also gain the adopted ancestry feat for your chosen human ancestry. And the adopted ancestry is actually really useful. You're fully immersed in another ancestry's culture and traditions, whether born into them, earned through a rite of passage, or bonded through a deep friendship or romance. Choose a common ancestry. You can select ancestry feats from the ancestry you choose, in addition to your character's own ancestry, as long as the ancestry feats don't require any psychological feature that you lack, as determined by the GM. And the humans, they have some very useful ancestry feats. Like, we literally do have a feat that allows you to take feats yet again from other ancestries.
Yeah, I really like this. I feel like this is great for people to make some very fascinating. Hold on, I'm currently banning someone.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Oh, you thought you were so sly. Okay, sorry about that. So I love this because this creates more flexibility for your Anadi character. Also allows you to be a lot more creative with how they look.
Yeah.
You want to have an elf Anadi? That's so cool. Elf ears, the bug eyes, the whole thing. You want to have an elf dwarf, or Anadi dwarf? Super cool. This allows you, the player, so much creativity with your OC and how you want to role play, not just being an Anadi, but being like a Mwangi elf or a Mwangi dwarf. And you get the feat that
Orc Anandi.
an Orc Anadi would be so dope. First of all, terrifying. Oh gosh, if anyone remembers the game, quick detachment, Bloody Roar 2.
Yeah.
Stun the Beetle. Stun the Beetle right now makes me think of an Anadi Orc.
Mm.
And the adoptive ancestry is an amazing human feat. So the fact that you're getting a human feat for free, that basically gives you whatever ability you want from that ancestry. You go a naughty orc, you pick up some extra HP, because I think they have an ancestry feat that lets their HP be 12. And now you're just like tank with no con. It's amazing.
Or even the adopted Anandi, if you go this route, flavor-wise, go Bard. You have a lot of choices there.
Yeah, with the 3 boosts at level 1, Dex, Wisdom, and a free boost, you can literally be anything except a strength-based. I mean, you could still be a strength-based fighter. So you're just gonna be working a lot harder to get still stats. But yeah, you could be Rogue, Ranger, Druid, Cleric, Bard, with Wizard, Sorcerer, Witch.
Reap Psyche posted Tusk and Fangs for the Orc Anandi.
I'm proud of the abominations that we are creating for such a beautiful and just absolutely diplomatic people. Let me get the next one. Polychromatic Anadi. Your body is covered with exceptionally colorful hairs that create vibrant, eye-catching patterns, some of which might even show in your human form. You become trained in performance, or another skill if you're already trained in performance, and you gain the impressive performance feat. The impressive performance feats, if you don't know it yet, you gotta be trained in performance. It's a level 1 skill feat. Your performances inspire admiration and win you fans. You make an impression using performance instead of diplomacy. And I like this a lot because, again, these people, they don't always have to be. No group's a monolith. but the spirit so far, the kind of general swathe, is that they want to be friends with people. They want to create stronger communities, and this is a great way to play into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know how I said that let's see, what is it? Adaptive Anandi would be a bard. I'm gonna take that back. Polychromatic Anandi bard.
It definitely plays a lot smoother with that idea. You know, you take the natural bonus to charisma, you get training in perception and performance, and the ability to use performance as a diplomacy check. And I think you have yourself a really cool spider bard.
Yeah,
Spider bard.
Yeah.
Spider bard.
There you go. Reef Psyche posted a peacock spider bard. Yeah, true. In fact, you can even go dip in monk if you want, because there's literally a monk stance called peafowl, which is basically a peacock.
I remember that. The monk deep dive was so good and so insane.
Yeah, what was it? The peacock stance was basically movement based, if I remember, with weapons.
I want to say there was so much good content with the monk that it was really hard to remember. I just remember combining wolf form and tiger form was disgusting.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to take the next heritage. All right, PJ?
Go right ahead.
The next one is Snaring Anandi. You were hatched with hooked fangs that give you an edge when hunting in your true form. Your fang attack gains the grapple and trip traits.
That is so good.
That is good. That is good. I was gonna say, there's your barbarian Anandi or monk Anandi. Definitely, if you went with snare crafter as your archetype, this would be a great heritage to go with.
For sure, yeah. And grappling and tripping in this system, I cannot stress enough, is so good. It's great for crowd control. It's great for doing damage with the right builds, guaranteed damage. And the fact that now you have a natural weapon that you're going to have your entire life that comes with grapple and trait, which means that the trip trait, which means you just roll. And if you hit, you grapple, and you compare some numbers with the initial roll, and there's your trip. Like, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, just gets right to the good stuff.
Apparently, Reef Psyche is going to be making so many barely functional but entirely thematic, accurate Anandi builds for different spider species.
Yeah, I super love that. Let's see. The next two I'm actually really excited about because they're very interesting. The first one is Spindly Anandi. I'm going to save you the fluff on this because what it does is it ups your speed from 25 to 30. That's nice.
Yeah.
There are definitely feats that can also do that. This does kind of save you from using those, and if you take them, then your speed goes to 35.
I kind of want to say I feel that, because I haven't looked into the feats really yet, but I feel that the Spindly Anandi will open up interesting choices feats-wise, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like, and this is all just a guess as we go through this together, I feel like this definitely opens up more mobility builds for your Anandi.
Yeah.
Anadi. I have to remember there's only one N. Why don't you cover the Venomous Anadi?
All right.
Fast?
We have the last one is called Venomous Anandi. Your natural form's fangs are capable of injecting foes with venom. You gain the Anandi Venom ability. Let's see. The Anandi Venom is one action, frequency, a number of times per day equal to your level. You envenom your fangs. If the next fang strike you make before the end of your turn hits and deals damage, the strike deals additional 1d6 poison damage. On a critical failure, the poison is wasted as normal. At 12th level, this poison damage increases to 2d6.
This is too good.
Yeah.
This is too good. This is why, besides the other stuff, why this is a rare ancestry.
Yeah.
Because if you make an Anadi swashbuckler or rogue or investigator, that's just stacking dice on dice on dice. And you don't even need a dagger, honestly.
I'm going to, once again, go with Anandi Monk. Yeah, because there's literally also the Cobra stance in Monk, which allows them to make poison attacks. I'm not sure if it cancels each other out, but maybe. Oh, and there is also here, it says, feats requiring venomous Anandi. Should we go into that, or should we go into that when we go through the actual feat list itself?
I think we can cover that when we go to the actual feat list itself, because we're probably going to make reference to this. But what I love about the Anadi Venom is that I think you could still be a monk and do the Venom stance, or the Cobra stance. If I recall correctly, and to be fair, it's been a few months since we covered monk, I believe when you strike with the Cobra stance, it does persistent poison damage.
Yeah.
This is just added poison damage. So in theory, if you activate Anadi Venom while in Cobra stance as an Anadi monk and you do a Fang Strike, literally and figuratively, you're doing your 1d6 plus 1d6 poison plus whatever, like d4 persistent poison damage. And it's got a great theme, very effective. This is only like at level 1 to 5, I think, where you're getting these abilities, by the way. And you're probably going to be potentially out damaging the fighter for sure, possibly the rogue, and the barbarian you might be in a tie with as far as like long damage is concerned.
I agree. It's I kind of want to say, mechanically, damage-wise, that is the strongest of heritages.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, the extra dice damage, the natural extra dice damage is chef's kiss. Jumping in the chat really fast. I see Reaps like you said the Lizards folks have that envenomed Fangs ability too. It's fantastic. I remember that during Jasper's game day a couple months back. Van said, an Anadi Spirit Instinct Barbarian that only rages with large shows of injustice. Otherwise, he's always trying diplomacy. You know, you say lol, but I like that concept. I like that personality choice.
Oh my god, that's a luchador Anandi.
There definitely should be one. But I like the idea in general. Like, my people are always like diplomats, but if you piss me off, you know.
Oh, I'm just thinking like, oh man, if you go with that with you know, a colorful mask and the polychromatic Anandi heritage, you have a showman there, kind of like an El Santo of Anandi.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and what's cool about that is like to further the masked identity narrative. They struggle extra hard to maintain their chain shape around people, and it's not because again they don't feel any shame in who they are. They just know that it's hard for their potential friends to basically ingest that image of a 6.5 foot tall spider.
Their alternate form is a little spider named Peter, who's a was it a lore bard?
I'm just thinking Peter Parker.
Yep.
Oh, lore bard. He works at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of lore, we're now moving away to the
Daily
Anadi.
Pathfinder.
What's that?
The Daily Pathfinder.
Daily Pathfinder. That's actually kind of really good. But speaking of lore, why don't we start off with the feats? The first level 1 feat for the Anadi is called Anadi Lore. Do you want me to start off with this?
Yeah,
Do you want to pick this one up?
Kick it off.
All right. Anadi Lore. You've learned how to provide for your community, be it through hard-earned sustenance or useful crafts. You gain the trained proficiency rank in crafting and survival. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills from your background or class, for example, you become trained in a skill of your choice, and you also become trained in Anadi Lore. And what I love about this is, like, the Anadi's big key thing is community. Community outreach, community betterment. This is one of those really subtle things as a feat that mechanically you're like, okay, I get like 3 skills. Cool. But if you want to play the spirit of that, play someone in Mwangi Expanse who prizes the community, fights for the community, and provides for the community. Now you have this really beautiful thing where a feat also informs your personality.
Yeah, and also I kind of want to say mechanical wise, crafting and survival, 2 very, very useful skills.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just excited to see now someone play a variety of Anadi, like the diplomat who wants to go out and have fun and like get to know the other cultures of the Mwangi Expanse. And there's that one who's like, no, we need to protect our own. While you're out there being nice, I got to be not nice. I got to kill things for food. I have to like sell crafts for money so we can buy supplies. Like you're keeping the world liking us. I'm keeping us. I'm keeping us on our feet.
Yeah, I am, like, if I'm going to be playing a Nandi at this point, I'm going to go with kind of a luchador build. Like
It does sound fun.
Yeah, an El Santo of a Nandi.
Oh, I love El Santo.
Anyway, let's go to the next feat, which is called Reassuring Presence. This is, I believe, a reaction. The trigger is an ally within 30 feet gets the frightened condition. You serve as an anchor to your close companions, calming them in times of stress. Decrease the value of the triggering ally's frightened condition by 1. The ally is then temporarily immune to your reassuring presence for 1 hour.
Not bad. I mean, it's a cure for fear
Yeah.
at level 1. So I can see why they want to make it immune, or else you're just constantly like removing fear off people. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. And once again, it does build on that whole, as you were saying, PJ, the protecting the community aspect.
Mm-hmm. The next feat is called Skitter Talk. This is, again, all these feats so far are level 1. So when you make your character level 1, you have to pick and choose a bit. You can ask questions of, receive answers from, and use the diplomacy skill with spiders and other arachnids. The GM determines which creatures count for this ability. You get Spider Talk. Oh my god. Skitter Talk is Spider Talk. You are basically the Aquaman of arachnids. I love that.
Yeah, no, that could be pretty useful because, think about it, there are spiders everywhere around us at all times.
Yeah, especially in dungeons. Like the prison and the dungeons. And if you're a druid, you can summon spiders, and then you don't have to waste another spell to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You can just be like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on around here?" And they're like, "Death." Cool. I'm getting out. Like,
GTFO.
GT the FO, baby.
All right. Well, our next feat is called Studious Magic at level 1. You've taken an interest in Anandi arcane traditions. Choose one cantrip from the arcane spell list. You can cast a spell as an arcane innate spell at will. A cantrip is heightened to a spell level equal to half your level, rounded up. This is very useful, especially if you're not playing a spellcaster class. You get a free spell. That's heightened.
Free.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
I was going to say a free spell, a free cantrip that's automatically heightened to your level, half your level rounded up.
Yeah, it's first of all, free magic is best magic. Get it if you can get it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Cantrips are by far the best free magic because, again, you can use them all the time, and you don't have to worry about not being in magic class. They just level up with you.
Days.
After getting I'm sorry, what?
Days.
Oh, days. See, Days is also really good. Now, see, right now, my brain, I'm kind of starting to fall in love with my idea of, like, a naughty rogue build, and having a rogue with Days.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah, I'm just going to daze and stun you, and then I'm going to sneak attack you with my lip, with my tooth, and I'm going to sneak attack and poison and all kinds of nasty. God.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you take our next feat, PJ?
Okay. Next one is called Web Walker. Like this. Of course, this takes me back to 40k, but that's a very different kind of web walking. You have plenty of practice navigating webs. You get a +2 circumstance bonus to saves and AC against the web spell. Oh, I love that. Natural webbing and effects that entrap you in webbing, as well as a +1 circumstance bonus against other effects that snare and entangle you, like the Entangle spell. Whenever you roll a success on saving throws against an effect involving a web, you get a critical success instead. This is so fun. it's weirdly niche, but it's really good and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, it is very niche, but you people would be really surprised by what's the word I'm trying to look for? With a very good argument, you can pretty much make a lot of situations. Yeah, that kind of counts as a web-like entanglement situation. So yeah, it's a crit success.
Yeah. The fact that any success is an automatic crit, not to mention the web spell at low levels can absolutely ruin your chance of survival.
Mm-hmm.
The entangle spell, same thing. Or if you get caught in an ally's web spell
Mm.
or entangle spell, like all the more to be like, don't worry about it, bro. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump with the chat really fast and say Avenging Penguin, Nat20 Productions loves you. Love you, Avenging Penguin. Great to see you in the chat today.
See you, buddy. All right. I'm not gonna go too much into the next one because pretty much every ancestry has this. The Fey influence, basically, it gives you free primal magic. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you a little free druid stuff. So, do you mind if I take friend form, PJ?
Why don't you get the Web Weaver? I think it's the last level 1 feats. And it's not quite Web
Oh.
Walker.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
Web Weaver. Level 1 feat. You can produce a soft silk to weave into useful items. You gained a specialty crafting feat with a specialty in weaving. You can use your webbing to craft simple, non-consumable threaded items such as clothing and rope at 0 cost as long as their base price is 1 silver piece or less. These items have no resale value and they naturally degrade after 24 hours without regular, if minor maintenance. You can maintain up to 10 such items at a time. If you create a new one, your oldest creation breaks down from neglect. These temporary items take you only 1 day to craft instead of 4. If you're an expert in crafting, you can craft these items in an hour. If you're a master, you could craft them in 10 minutes, and if you're legendary, you could craft them in a minute. Yeah, this is basically Spider-Man's webbing because they do dissolve in about an hour.
Yeah, it's at least an hour or so. This is amazing. First of all, I know you guys are creative. I know you're already thinking this. The fact that you can make a crafting check to make any mundane item up to 1 silver piece, which, by the way, like, that's a lot of stuff. You need rope to climb a building. You need clothes to go to the whatever. You need, like, this is one of those subtle feats that if you really dedicate yourself to crafting, you're basically just making everything. You're not making magical items. You're not making armor, sure. But literally everything else. Like, oh, you need a tent? Give me 1 minute, and I will make a tent big enough for, like, 4 people.
Yeah, or literally just read a couple of Spider-Man comics and just do whatever a spider can. Like, if you need to glide down somewhere, spiderweb, I have a glider.
Yeah, Urban Dragon Dice was saying you can make 10 feet of rope. Yeah, absolutely. You can make 10 feet of rope, and the best thing is, you can make up to 10 items. Normally, at level 1, you can make 10 items that you just have to kind of, like, put some TLC into every day. You can have 10 segments of 10 feet of rope. You could easily argue you're tying them off to make 100-foot rope.
I mean, if you need to make use your webbing to make a baby Bjorn to put a surly elven Viking somewhere, yeah, you can do that too.
You're not letting that go, are you?
No.
That was
Call
episode
back.
like,
Call
that was episode 6.
Call back.
46 episodes.
Call back.
46 episodes ago. Anyway, but I'm glad. So that's all of our level 1 feats. As Pao did mention, the Fey Influence feat is available to the Anadi as well. So if you want to dip your toe into primal magic, it's good magic, it's free magic. Do you mind if I take friend form instead? All right. So this is a level 5 feat, ancestry feat, for your Anadi character. The shared bond between you and your allies allows you to act on their behalf. During your daily preparations, you can perform a simple ritual with up to 5 willing small or medium humanoids, where participants exchange minor tokens of personal significance. As long as you hold on to a particular token, You can't assume. You can assume their form with your change shape ability, gaining a +4 status bonus to deception checks to pass as that person, and adding your level to the check, even if you're untrained. You lose access to a participant's form if they're not carrying your token, or if you use this ritual again. This is kind of beautiful again because I really love the nature of the Anadi. How like there's such a communal force that even in an adventuring party you become a community, and this is literally a power that makes for wonderful potential role play as the spider person is now pretending to be a human, an orc, a specific one.
Yeah.
And then you get those great Shakespearean comedies where this fish out of water trying to lie its way through a situation.
This actually reminds me a lot of some superhero situations where a friend of the superhero who needs to hide, well, the superhero themselves has to hide their identity, so a friend of the superhero pretends to be them so they could be at both places at once. So yeah, you know what? Bruce Wayne can't be Batman because Bruce Wayne's right here and Batman's over there, and it's actually Nightwing dressed up as Batman.
It's great. Yeah, it's great for also if you have a vigilante prestige class in the party. Yeah. Urban Dragon Dice was agreeing with you, Michael. He called it Clark Kenting, and I love it. Also mentions the catch for that web weaver is that it does fall apart and requires repair. Yeah, exactly. I believe the rules have written says that they basically you make 10 items, and if you make a new one, then another one damages from neglect. So I guess the kind of shorthand is that each day you spend a little bit of time to just kind of maintain the 10 items that you've made.
Downtime actions.
Yeah. Basically, it's their way of saying you get 10. Like, if you want 11, can't do it. You have to keep maintaining them.
All right. Next up, we got Hunter's Fangs. Level 5 feat. Your fangs are exceptionally painful. Whenever you score a critical hit with your fangs unarmed attack, you apply the unarmed attack's critical specialization effect.
Okay, cool. So I like this because this definitely builds upon what we've been talking already, but having an Anadi with the natural weapon build, different things you can make with that.
Yeah, I believe for fangs, they fall under the brawling category, and the target must succeed at a fortitude save against your class DC or be slowed 1 until the end of your next turn.
Oof. Okay, so now let's consider this. I'm putting my build of the Anadi Rogue Natural Weapon Fighter. When you crit with a sneak attack with your little mouth flaps, not only are you doing maybe 3d6 1 for the weapon, 1 for the sneak attack, and 1 for the poison. That's level 5. It might be like 2 for the sneak attacks, like 4 or 5 d6 damage. But now they're slowed 1, which means that for that round or the next round, however, basically until your next round, they can only take 2 out of 3 actions. And let me tell you, as a caster, losing just 1 action wrecks your entire economy.
Yeah, no,
your entire economy is trash now.
Totally. Oh man, especially if you have to hold concentrate for a spell, you're gonna have to drop that spell.
Well, now the good thing is because I've been doing a lot of research on this. Because I was going back in the YouTube chat to talk to some of the comments. Concentrate's weird. It doesn't mean that you lose the spell if you can't make a concentration check or etc. It's basically just like one of those bookmark things whereby if another ability says you cannot use concentration trait abilities, then that takes precedent. It's basically just like a marker.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. You can use as many concentration traits as you want, so long as the rules for those abilities say that you can.
Oh, there you go. Then, well, either way, most spells usually take 2 actions, so you're gonna be left with either casting a spell or GTFOing out of the way. You have to make the hard choice.
Oh, absolutely. Losing that economy is insane. Urban Dragon Dice says, can you flurry that as a ranger monk? I'm saying yes because if I recall correctly, at least for the monk, flurrying requires you to, or not requires, allows you to make 2 extra unarmed strikes. And these are natural weapons that function as unarmed strikes. So, rules as written, yeah, you can flurry
Yeah,
with your little mouth bites.
yeah. They're essentially just
Yeah.
biting twice, really quick.
Yeah, Reap Psyche says, yeah, make 2 unarmed strikes that both at the same creature combine their damage to the purpose of resistances and weaknesses. Yeah, thank you for the backup. Checks out. So rules is written. If you want to make an Anadi monk, get your hunter's fangs out and just start dropping slows and blows, ladies and gentlemen, slows and blows.
That sounds so wrong.
Yeah, you know what? They can't all be winners. Hybrid shape. Ooh, hybrid shape. This is another level 5 feat. So if you're not quite looking to deal some extra slow, this might be for you. Mastery of your shapeshifting lets you combine the best features of your humanoid and spider forms. When you use your change shape ability, you can assume a bipedal hybrid shape. This form gains all the abilities and the benefits of your spider shape, as well as the ability to use items and take and manipulate actions just as easily as your human shape. So now you're kind of making this third best of both worlds where you basically have no penalties. You're just a creepy spider person who does everything.
You're the 6-armed Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
From
such
the
a
animated
weird
series.
run.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
animated series.
I want to say that was actual, like an actual episode of Spider-Man, like the comic books themselves, where he also turned to Man-Spider.
Oh yeah, but I I kind of feel that the animated Spider-Man did that, and then the comic book went there.
You're probably not wrong. That happened a lot with X-Men cartoons as well. The X-Men did storylines, and then the comic books. Like, for example, The Age of Apocalypse, where Professor X was dead, and it caused this whole chain of events to go off. That was a cartoon first, and that made the comic book shortly after.
All right. Our next feat is at level 9, called Disorienting Venom. The prereq for this is Venomous Anandi Heritage. Let's see. The venom injected by your fangs disorient your foes. A creature damaged by Anandi venom must attempt a fortitude save against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher, or become flat-footed for 1 round.
You see what I'm talking about? This is amazing for a rogue. This is so good. Oh my god, you could. Oh, it's so good, so good. Sorry, I'm so excited.
I was gonna say, you might want to go, if you do go the rogue route, you might want to go the Eldritch Trickster racket route than with the rogue.
Oh, absolutely, but just based on your natural ability. Like, what's great about this is you're dropping poison damage, which really just acts as like a d6 of poison flavored damage. That can also stack with your precision dice from sneak attack. And at level 9, I want to say, and I need to go back to the rogue and check this out. I think it's about 3 to 4 d6 at this point. And then if you hit them with all this stuff, they're flat-footed. So if you haven't sneak attacked them, you can flat-foot them and then sneak attack them.
Yeah. This is definitely something to pick up if you were going down the Venomous Anandi Heritage route.
Yeah. Also looking in the chat, Van was saying, was that my first life PJism? Yeah, it was.
All right. Well, PJ, why don't you take the next level 9 feat?
All right. Sorry, my brain is still hyped for Disorienting Venom. Oof. A naughty rogue for the win. Strand Spider. Your 8 legs serve you well when climbing walls and webs alike. You gain a climb speed of 25 feet in your spider shape. That's not bad.
Do whatever a spider can.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about that is that, like, climbing has so many penalties. Like, I think you move at, like, your speed minus 10, if not half your speed, and you're flat-footed. And so this basically means, like, like, you can run up walls and ceilings almost at the exact same speed you can naturally run without being flat-footed, no penalties. And now you get the opportunity to fight in 3D space. Now you're fighting upside down, hanging over people.
Oh yeah, it's I would say take Strand Strider. You can take full advantage Strand Spider if you go monk route as well.
Oh god, with monk mobility options,
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Because when you said 3D mobility, that's where my brain instantly went to.
Yeah, monks have crazy mobility options, and if your ancestry gives you any mobility options, then they just make you more broken. And a
PJ.
naughty monk or even a Strix monk, like
Uh-huh.
it gets insane.
PJ, Strand Strider
Mm-hmm.
with the Monk Archer build.
Ah,
Get you're always gonna get the high ground. But even if you're in like an enclosed enclosed room situation.
mm-hmm. You could. It's a little difficult. I would probably mentally plan it like they're flat-footed to you, because you're like maybe like right above them and you're shooting right down on top of
Yeah.
them. Oh my god.
Imagine fights in places where there's high ceilings, like a cathedral or like a palace or something.
I really like that, especially like the idea of a cathedral, because like those huge vaunted
Yeah.
ceilings, you could be like, I'm going to use all three of my actions on my first turn to go 75 to 100 feet up in the air and stick to a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just taking these like awesome pot shots. And if you try to attack me, I'm just going to stay 75 feet in the air and then just kind of skitter about.
Yeah, and especially if you also have the rogue archetype, just disengage and hide in like the hundreds of the nooks and crannies of a cathedral ceiling.
It is so cool. And y'all, this is what I'm telling you about. It's what I love about Pathfinder, what sets it apart. It is the direct creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the whole, can I get away with this? Well, it's not in the book, so I'll allow it anyway. It is a part of like, no, please, please. Run on the ceilings. Go ahead. Have fun.
Yeah, if you have the ability to do so, you are only doing disservice to yourself if you don't.
Yes. I'm loving Urban Dragon Knight saying Strand Strider and Key Rush. Yes, because if you when you absolutely positively have to climb up the Empire State Building in a second, God bless.
Yep. All right. Well, I am gonna take. Wait, is it your turn now or mine? I forgot.
We've been riffing on this for a while. I think I did Strand Strider.
Okay.
I think you're on Studious Adept.
Okay. Ninth level feat, Studious Adept. Prereq for this is Studious Magic. You achieve a breakthrough in your exploration of magic. You gain humanoid form and mirror image as second level arcane innate spells. You cast each of these arcane innate spells once per day. Free magic!
I mean, I always love free magic, and I especially love it when you're not a magic caster.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm gonna keep hitting that rogue thing. Although I think we're discovering that monk in Anadi is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Give you just a quick breakdown on humanoid form, because this ancestry already kind of has it, but as a spell, this lasts for 10 minutes. It's 2 action cost. You transform your appearance to that of a small or medium humanoid, such as a dwarf, elf, goblin, halfling, human, orc, or lizard folk. You gain the humanoid trait in addition to your other traits while in this form, as well as any trait related to the creature's kind. Such as human or goblin, you get those features and traits. If this transformation reduces your size, it reduces your reach accordingly, almost like the shrink spell. The transformation doesn't change your statistics in any way, and you don't gain any special abilities of the humanoid form that you assume. You can still wear and use your gear, which changes size if necessary to match your new form. If items leave your person, they return to their usual size. Humanoid form grants you a +4 status bonus to deception checks to pass as a generic member of that chosen ancestry. DC versus the deception check. So what I like about this is that you have that chain shape 1 action ability already, and it's a concentration trait. So the likelihood of it becoming a problem is slim, but still there.
Oh.
This is great because that takes out all middlemen. Any issue for 10 minutes, you are whatever you want to be to fit into that society.
Mm-hmm.
With a +4 to deception checks to lie.
Oh yeah, because I'm also seeing you can go with a monk build with assassin monk. With this actually would be pretty useful, or poisoner, even poisoner, especially if you have that venomous Anansi heritage.
The venom knock the table. The venom one, I like that a lot. That would see, that's what's cool about this, because this is an ancestry trait. this only adds to your class potential. So if you are a rogue, vigilante, monk, whatever, blending in is the most boring version of that society, using that as cover, getting close to your target, and then sneak attack, poison everything, and then walk away. Because it's 10 minutes, no concentration, no sustaining. Walk up, stab, walk away. At any point in time, if people are looking for you, drop it, turn into a spider, and just scurry the hell away.
And honestly, you don't even have to go up and stab. As a rogue, you still have a sneak attack with ranged weapons. So, yeah, skitter up, upside down over your enemy, and just like, okay, rain of arrows down at them. Sneak attack.
Yep. And if you're looking for the, like, how to use this in combat, aside from the turning human, because that feels more like a role play spell. The mirror image is really what you want out of this ability. It's a 1 minute duration spell, 2 actions, no maintaining or sustaining a spell. I don't think anyway.
It's essentially Naruto's, Shadow Nujutsu.
Kage no Bushin.
Yeah.
So the 3 illusionary images of you swirl about your space, potentially causing those who attack you to hit one of the images instead of you. So very much so. Any attack that would hit you has a random chance of hitting one of your images instead of you. If all 3 images remain, there's a 1 in 4 chance of hitting you. So you roll a 1d4. If they get a 1 on the die, they hit you. With 2 images remaining, there's a 1 in 3 chance. So it's a 1 to 2 on a d6 roll. While only 1 image is there, the chances are 1 in 2, so then you have to roll 1 to 3 on a d6. And that's kind of what this does. This gives you an automatic chance of just noping damage. And once one of those images are hit, they just poof. Like Michael's saying, like Kage no Bushin Jutsu, they just get hit and they vanish.
Oh, yeah. All right, next up is Web Hunter. Why don't you take that one, PJ?
All right, Web Hunter. Right-click this bad boy here. Web Hunter. This is the last of the level 9 ancestry feats for the Anadi. Through the careful cultivation of highly sensitive hairs, you've developed the ability to sense creatures without seeing them. Yes, you gain tremor sense at a range of 15 feet when you and a creature are both touching the same anchored thread-like object, like a rope or webbing or a wire. Your imprecise tremor sense goes out to 60 feet. You get spider sense.
Yeah. Ooh,
you get spider sense.
PJ, I just thought of something. Monk has a stance where you could create shadows and manipulate them.
Oh yeah.
Would you? I feel this will be if your GM allows it. Would you let them use their shadow ability? Okay, I'm gonna spread my shadow threads like a web.
As long as it's like an actual physical thing, that I think rules as written that should work. Because the whole point is that you're using the vibrations from those anchors and strands to kind of sense what's basically an extension of your tremor sense. Ooh, it's like an Andrew Garfield? Is that the actor who did second Spider-Man? Okay. Because I always get him and the President confused. It's like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, how he's fighting the lizard in the sewer, and he basically creates a network of like 10 or 12 spider strands, or spider webs, and he's just chilling, waiting for the first one to kind of like, boing. And then once he does, he's like, yes, that's my direction. It's like that.
Yeah, jump in the chat. Urban Dragon Dice posted Total Recall Trick Watch.
Is that the one with Arnold in the 80s, or is that one with Colin Farrell in like 2012?
I haven't seen the remake. I've seen
seen
the... I'm only familiar with the Arnold one.
Yeah, it's the Arnold one. Oh, now I feel shamed. I feel shame as a full action. I don't remember this bit. Urban Dragon Dice, please tell me the tale of the Total Recall Trick Watch, because I don't remember.
While he's typing it up, let's jump into our last and final feat at level 13. And this one is, well, this is definitely a Spider-Man one. It's called Web Slinger. 3 actions, frequency once per 10 minutes. Your natural ability to create silken webs blends with your magical powers, allowing you to create impossibly large webs with great frequency. This has the effects of a second level web spell using your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher.
See, this is fun. Like, granted, at level 13, a second level may not be potent. The DC is still based on your class level, so that's fine. But, you know, I just love that you are just once every 10 minutes getting a free cast of magic. And yeah, it's taking a full turn, but that's because, like, you know, you're not casting a spell. You're just shooting out magic. You're shooting out webbing. I love it. I think it's a great capstone feat for this ancestry.
It's very interesting. It does feel like it's somewhat lacking because, as PJ said, a second level web spell, but roleplay wise, great. And also, this is definitely amazing, awesome to have if you're playing a non-spell casting Anansi.
Yeah, you know, like all the ones you mentioned so far, like the monk, this is great because they're standing still, flat-footed. You just get to light them up with your flurry.
Yeah.
Obviously, rogues, the sneak attack. For rangers, you basically you get a better chance at hitting with all your amazing marked prey.
Snare crafters.
Snare crafters, yes, but I think the biggest thing there is that the snare crafters, that only works on the snares they're making. True. I don't think this counts.
True, but what I'm referring to is if you run out of snares, you could at least, you know, if I was a GM, you're a snare crafter and you have this ability, I would let you use your web to create a makeshift snare, but that's also rule of cool.
Yeah, rule of cool, I guess. Like, if you want to use that as, like, if you want to basically cast that ability and set it as a snare, I guess I could kind of see that. I think the one thing, Michael, that I agree with you about this is that it's not big enough for the capstone. First of all, is it good? Yes, it's amazing. But I'd like to see it as a 4th level casting of web, because that basically gives you 20 feet of space, as opposed to 2nd level cast, which only gives you 10 feet. Hold on. Let me give you the exact... I don't want to mess it up. So it is a 10-foot area burst within a range of 30 feet. So like a nice little 10 by 10. Whereas a 4th level version of it is a 20-foot burst within a 60 range. So I'd like to see maybe like 30-foot still, but a 20-foot burst.
PJ, I just thought of something. This would be an amazing setup where first round, your first round, use all your actions, webbing around you. Get all your opponents all, you know, webbed up. They're all flat-footed. Second action, skitter up, upside down, and let's just start picking them off while they're all stuck in the webs. As an archer.
You know that actually makes a very good point, because there is the Anadi ability that you get bonuses to not being caught in webs, to moving through without penalties. So you could, in theory, place a web on you in your area and not suffer the penalty of being in that webbing. And then once you have them stuck, then you're like, hoo, I'm just going to move along my own web and eat ya.
See, I call this tactic, basically, it's think 2 steps ahead. You're thinking 2 steps ahead. It's it's an investigator tactic, I would say. Really quick, I'm going to jump in chat. Urban Dragon Dice posted mirror image watch used by Arnold to trick agents. Oh yeah, when he was creating his the hologram Arnold.
Yeah. The minute I read that, I was like, oh, that's the one. That's the scene.
But yeah, honestly, I feel as you get more comfortable with Pathfinder 3-action economy, playing more of it combat-wise, you're starting to, you know, plan out your actions at least 2 to 3 rounds ahead of time.
Yeah, I think so. And plus, like, having done a level 15 campaign's a strong word, one-shot, there's so much time doing math to figure out what you did. Not that it's a bad thing, because it is definitely rewarding. But basically, by the time it gets to your round, you have had the time to kind of figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to use your 3 actions to set up abilities. Reap Psyche says that works really well at lower levels. Once you get to high level, the DCs don't tend to scale well. A lot of these pinning, holding, and restraining abilities, and I think that's true. The saves and bonuses to creatures does get really thick, but the thing to remember is that this version of web, and I think even the spell, is based off of your DC.
Yeah.
So the problem there becomes if this doesn't work, then like none of your spells are going to work.
Hey, PJ, I just thought of something.
Ooh, was das?
How flammable are webbing?
That's a good question. In Pathfinder 1E, the web spell did provide a bonus to damage when it interacted with a fire spell. So like the big 1-2 punch that people love to do in Pathfinder 1E was doing web and burning hands or web and fireball, and added about 1 to 2 d4 bonus damage.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case. I should have looked that.
So I was gonna say, if it was, web, skitter upside down, drop a lit match, or set off a fireball or burning hands.
Yeah, I think the fireball, the burning hands might give you more of a return. I think the lit match would do still 1d4 damage. Oh, here we go. So, back to the spell. For web, each time a creature in the web begins using actions, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't look like in this edition there's the combustible effect of the web. Probably because, like I said, it was such a go-to combo that GMs would use against players, and that players would use against GMs' characters, that I'm sure they're like, we have to remove the bonus damage because it was a little too good. You know what?
Rule of cool, if I was a GM, I would allow it because I'm just envisioning now. Web, skitter. Hey guys, fire.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm right there with you. Like, knowing how the past web works, if someone was to do that and go, I want this web to do some extra damage because, like, it's a glistening, oily web, then I go, okay, I'm either going to do persistent fire damage or I'm going to give, like, the added 1d4 damage.
And I am not a pyro. I'm very tactical minded, and fire is just a very good tactic.
Hey, I'm just going to put this out there. No one said it but you, my dude.
People are thinking it, though. I know they were thinking it. I could see it. I could smell it.
I could smell your judgment. So that was the Anadi. Obviously, some amazing calls out to Spider-Man. You can kind of play whatever Spider-Man you want. Ben Reilly, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy. Variants. Great for rogues, great for monks, cool for rangers. Sorcerers, you're going to have some interesting time. Bards have a lot of fun potential with this class because of the ability to create, perform, and the bonuses to do it, and the fact that you now get to play the envoy. So I think the Anadi is really going to present players with a lot of really fun choices for combat, role play, and the most important thing of all, some gosh damn team cohesiveness, some community.
Yeah. PJ, question. Would you allow a Nandi bard to string their instrument with webs?
Oh, of course. Oh my goodness, you kidding me? Yeah. If they want to be like, I'm just gonna make a crafting check to build strings for my instrument, hell yes. Rule of cool. I'm going to give you a bonus to your performance check.
All right. Well, next up, let us move on to the next ancestry. This one, I believe, is totally new to Pathfinder. It wasn't even in Pathfinder First Edition, I believe. At least that's what I read from some of the stuff I read online. Reddit. All right. It's called the Konrasu. They are a rare ancestry, so clear it with your GM before you decide to play one of these. They are also Aeon, Konrasu, and Plant. So kind of like a Leshy. This is very interesting. This is actually, I believe, PJ, you and I, we actually talked about this before. Before we got any information about the Mwangi Expanse, we're like, what the heck is a Konrasu?
I remember that. All we had was the. Oh, my hair looks terrible today. All we had was the information from the con and like a picture, and we're like, "Is that a construct?
Yeah, we're like,
What is
yeah.
that?"
I was like, wait, is it literally just? Is that a console where, like, a spaceship console, and the creature's just arms?
It's yeah, guys. If you get a chance, Google the Konrasu. The artwork for this thing is dope. There's only one picture out right now that I've been able to find in Moss. And this is, of course, if you don't have the books. If you have the books, please open it up. I believe it's on page 107 in the Mwangi Expanse. These people are really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm going to jump into the fluff. All right, PJ.
Go right ahead.
The Konrasus are shards of cosmic force given consciousness who construct intricate exoskeletons to interface with the mortal world, both an integral part of the underlying process of the universe and strangely set apart. Konrasus look at aeons to understand their existence. Konrasus aren't entirely clear of their own origins. Some historians think them a failed experiment of a wizardry cabal, possibly a splinter of artificers from the ancient Jiska Imperium, who desperately hoped to bind a Pale Roma to bolster their army, but who accidentally conjured shattered scraps of the Aeon instead. Others believe Konrasus are built by their ancestors using an um, iterative evolution process as natural as one designed by those who build portions of their own bodies could ever hope to achieve. Most likely, it's a mix of the two. So, yeah, you got some sci-fi in my fantasy.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that gives a richer experience. What I love about this is that the Konrasu are now a big old mystery.
They
And
don't
I'd
even know.
kind of exactly, and I'd kind of like this question to be solved in Starfinder. Can you? Because like these are basically star people that don't have physical forms that just start like building constructs out of like machine and plant to give themselves forms, and that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but it's weird. And then to go to Starfinder and find out, oh, that's what the Konrasu are.
Yeah,
That makes so much more
Yeah,
sense.
I feel we need to go a little bit more in depth with the Konrasus because just how unusual they are. So I'm also going to tackle the physical description
Go right ahead.
because honestly, I don't think you don't encounter these very often in other medias.
Nope.
The true form of a Konrasu is an abstract chunk of spiritual essence. While their being exists beyond the truth of humanoid senses, to the mortal eye, their body usually resembles a globe of light, darkness, or space. Floating internal pinpricks of illumination sit inside the ball, slightly obscured as if peeking through a gelatinous substance. These cores surround themselves with bodies made out of still living wood, creating a form that most people recognize as a Konrasu. Konrasus themselves are called a path, and once they find it, shape frames to create a suitable form, leading to a wide variety of appearances. As a Konrasu ages, the supple green wood of their body hardens, causing their limbs to lose mobility. Konrasus must constantly grow new arms and roots for their living exoskeleton, leaving their frozen limbs as immobile effigies along their shell. Konrasus can't maintain their integrity without wooden exoskeletons. A Konrasu that loses its exoskeleton dissipates and dies, though they could be returned to life with magic like other beings. So yeah,
This is woof.
yeah, it honestly this I'm thinking now this is like a combination of a Leshy and an android. Like an android that creates its own body around its consciousness.
A little bit. First of all, this is absolutely fascinating and very very unique. I'm kind of seeing clearly it's a core of consciousness, this kind of like cosmic core ball, and that ball is what makes the plants around it. But here's the thing: it's only doing plants because that's what's prevalent. If this was in a far-fetched like sci-fi situation, there is no logical reason they would be taking plant life. From the rules as written here, the fluff, which is amazing, says that it's just what's around and it's living, so they can kind of take it. If you just get any sort of like organic alloy or bioalloy or just steel, I can't help but think that these guys would make like robotic exoskeletons that have like different functions and
Definitely.
possibilities.
Hey PJ, do you want to take the society, because I feel we need to also know about the society of the Konrasus, because they're just so darn unusual.
Yeah, I want to do that, and I will in a minute, but I really want to talk about what everyone's saying in the chat. Because, like, Urban Dragon Dice mentioned that they are visitors from Axis. I love that. Is that true? Please let me know. Maybe I might read more about it, but I love Axis as a concept, and that whole thing. Roops like, says, man, how do you even play someone like that? How do they move? Yeah, I can only imagine them kind of, like, picking up their whole exoskeleton and hovering. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they develop legs. Who knows? I'll learn more about it.
I kind of feel what the way they move is, because if you actually seen the photos, which I will post, there's going to be an image around here that I'm going to include of the Konrasu. They have these kind of spider-like arms, which I kind of feel they also function as like spider legs, like spider arm legs, and just kind of like
Yeah.
Now, God, what is it called? From Toy Story. Remember that doll head on that Tinker toy?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember its name. Baby doll?
Yeah. That's how I see it.
All right. So Urban Dragon Dice has a theory, and I think this is worth debating. They make new limbs by new ones of themselves. Mm-hmm. Sorry, by planting their arms. Their voices sound like marimbas. That's a very fascinating theory. I'd love to see where that goes. So Konrasus. Before I go into the society, I do want to make a very important note here. The Konrasu are not only rare and Konrasu implant, but they are Aeon themselves. Yeah. They possess the Aeon trait. And this is the first, and so far only, Aeon-traded ancestry that we get to play as. Mm-hmm. The Aeons themselves are monitors, basically celestial beings, cosmically celestial beings, I should say, that are more observers than they are like celestials or fiends. They're kind of like, if an aberrant is chaotic evil, then an Aeon is lawful good.
Yeah, I kind of want to say, think of them as kind of like the Watchers from Marvel, mm-hmm. or the, what was it, not the Guardians, what are they called? Galactus is part of them. There's...
Oh, the Celestials, I think, right? The Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, society for the Konrasu. There are 3 distinct types of Konrasus. Maintainers, who tend to care for others, believing that they must cultivate a proper balance between various forces. Shapers build and direct those around them and feel that balance is maintained by those who strive to preserve the world's equilibrium. Lastly, correctors, who fix problems of all sorts, often acting as stalwart bastions of law, who perceive the world in absolutes, with few to no shades of gray. True balance can be achieved only in cases where pressure and force have been applied to make necessary changes. Yeah, these are definitely axiomites. On rare occasions, a Konrasu may hear and heed the call of another form of extraplanar being. One might serve as psychopomp, another an archon, and yet another might become a witch and adapt an unknown figure as a patron. First of all, I love the idea of these little balls of cosmic consciousness and presence going, but also witchcraft. Like, I just think that's amazing.
Kind of like a non-annoying Navi.
Yeah, instead of saying, hey, listen, it's more like, hey, consider. Aeons, and I should say this about the Konrasu as well, Aeons other than axiomites and inevitables communicate via a strange telepathic hodgepodge of sensory sending called envisioning. So these creatures, I think, are by nature telepathic. Mm-hmm. They may be the first fully telepathic race in Fantasy Pathfinder.
Well, let's check out their mechanics. I'm going to just jump into it. The hit points are 10, so not too bad, actually.
That's tanky as heck, dude.
Size, medium, speed, 25. Ability boost is Constitution, Wisdom, and Free. The ability flaws, Charisma. So, maybe not a bard, but honestly, nothing's stopping you from being a bard Konrasu. That would be actually pretty cool. Maybe they just collect stories of the world.
Yeah,
As
I think
data.
the idea. I think the idea, like for the ability flaw being charisma, is that they're not expressive
Yeah.
as a rule.
Yeah. The languages are, let's see, Mwangi, Rasu, and additional languages equal to your intelligence modifier. You can choose from Celestial, Elven, Irix, Sylvan, Terran, and Utopian.
I think Utopian is the language of the people that come from the plane of law.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, they also have a very interesting ability called Sunlight Healing. A Konrasu can enter a meditative healing state as a 10-minute activity when exposed to direct sunlight, in which case they recover 1d8 hit points at third level, and every 2 levels thereafter, this healing increases by 1d8. Once a Konrasu has recovered hit points this way, they are temporarily immune to further uses of sunlight healing for a day.
That's amazing.
So a free self-healing if they're out in the daylight.
Here's the thing: at third level and every 2 levels, this healing is increased. So that's not saying that like it's only a D8 at level 20. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta do math. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At level 20, that's a self heal of 10d8 HP once a day. That's 10d8. That's like a level 10 version of one action heal spell.
Yeah. So, oh man.
My God.
Yeah, this is definitely like, all right, we got really beat up on our last combat. We're about to face the big bad. All right, everybody. We only have a couple heals left. The Konra's like, don't worry.
Oh no. Oh no. I just realized if you did make a Konrasu bard, it would be those heads are like, show us what you got.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no, it's terrible.
I like what you hot.
Yeah. I'm not hurt. I am healing. So what I love about this, just from the core mechanics, is that we see 10 HP, Constitution, Wisdom, and free modifiers. We have a strong potential for a tanky caster, which sounds exciting.
A cleric or a paladin Konrasu?
Mm-hmm. Cleric would be super dope because as an Aeon, which these things are, you are a piece of the greater cosmic consciousness of law and order. So, you're right there, my dude.
What if this would be kind of real cool and maybe not. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Galarion, but what if you are actually a direct shard of your patron deity?
I mean, you could be, because that's the whole thing. Even a small shard is still enough to create basically a superior consciousness that is willing a physical aspect. And because this is a main ancestry, you can also tag on the versatile heritages for the people of law and order. I think they're the Axiomites.
Yeah.
I know, Aphrodites. Aphrodites?
Nope.
Aphrodites? Anyway.
You're close.
Yeah, so now you're a Konrasu Aphrodite, and you're just this, like, super construct right from the Aeon of Law.
PJ, 2 things. In chat, Urban Dragon Dice posted, during PaizoCon, they were described as if someone tried to summon a level 2 Aeon and goofed it up. Haha. Kinda, yeah. And also, I like what Reap Psyche posted. Once Gunslinger comes out, you could just make Bastion from Overwatch.
Yes. It's actually funny you mentioned that, Reaped, because before we got into pre-production for Edge of Legend, I was just kind of doing some fun home games with a different system, and I was running one-shots based on Overwatch. I kind of really love the idea of now doing Overwatch games in Pathfinder mechanics and settings.
PJ, I just thought of something.
What
if you're an Oracle, Konrasu, and you named yourself Zordon?
Oh my god. Yeah, I could see that. And it's like, you chose one of those gnarly curses that just wreck you. So, like, you have to stay in the tube or else you're going to die at this point.
Oh, I would just rule of cool. You know what? You're allowed to kind of create a holographic projection of a giant floating head.
And you're just like, and it's like, heroes, there is a Dracolich attacking the town of Absalom. Use your totally rad attitude and level 10 spell slots to kill the creature. All right, Zordon, we're gonna do it for you. And then this like, android shows up. Ay, 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 ay. Why did I have charisma? I don't use it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, PJ posted, or your artificer and your construct name's Alpha.
Yeah,
that could work.
yeah.
That could work. Or give Alpha a little more oomph and have them be a android.
Yeah. Also, Van just gave us 100 bits. Thank you so much for the bits, for the idea of doing the Overwatch game. I'm going to add that to my never-ending list of amazing things. We'll either do a one-shot of Overwatch, or we will maybe do a small campaign, because I really wanted to do an Overwatch campaign, but it never got off the ground. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I'm going to call dibs on either McCreed or Junkrat.
Interesting. Well, we will cross that bridge when we get there.
Those were my mains. Those were my mains when I played Overwatch.
See, my main is Lucio, and I love Lucio. I love his attitude. I love his skills, and I would love to play Lucio, but I get it. So let's do the heritages, because these sound really cool.
Yeah, why don't you take the first one, PJ?
All right. The Rite of Invocation. You augmented your exoskeletons with magic. You gain one cantrip from the arcane or occult spell list. You can cast this spell as an innate spell at will. A cantrip is automatically heightened to your level rounded up. A free cantrip.
Yeah.
And the name of Rite of Invocation sounds so baller.
Oh, yeah. And as we said before on the show, free magic is great magic.
Free magic's best magic.
Exactly. All right, next up is the Rite of Knowing. You enhance your exoskeleton with a connection to Access, allowing you to tap into infinite knowledge of the plane. You gain the Call to Access action. Call to Access. It's, I believe, a free action, frequency, once per day, requirements. You are about to attempt a check to recall knowledge. You call upon the knowledge of Access to ensure the accuracy of your information. You roll a second time and use the higher result. If you roll a critical failure, you get a failure instead. If you roll a success, you get a crit success instead. Dude, Rite of Knowing, Konrasu Investigator.
I love just the lore of this, because I think it's so cool. Normally when you have an ancestry where it's a direct link to like something deific, they always do their best to never really let you tap into that. Here at level 1, you're basically just given an advantage roll on recall knowledge checks for free once a day, but like it's still really cool.
Yeah, you literally have a database that you can look up. Oh, PJ.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Wikipedia.
Cosmic Wikipedia. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I love this. You're a part of like the grand
network,
laptop, the grand network of Law and Order. This is really cool.
Dun dun.
Dun dun. The Rite of Light, Light. I'm probably gonna love this already. Your exoskeleton bears small shoots that can share life. When using your sunlight healing, you can restore the hit points of an adjacent ally instead of yourself. That ally becomes temporarily immune to it for once a day. So you basically function as having a one action cost of the heal spell automatically leveled up to your level. That's really good.
Yeah, essentially, you have, as you say, PJ, if you're a cleric, you have a free heal spell. Oh man, you will. Yeah. Most of the time, I don't think you'll be running out of heal spells unless you actually try to run out of heal spells as a cleric Konrasu.
Dude, clerics are so amazing with their divine font. Having 5 free casting of the heal spell that's automatically basically heightened to your level, and then the ones you junction into your daily spells. PJ, so good.
PJ,
so good.
You can literally be a heal bot.
Literally be a heal bot. Yes, and I'm also loving the chat. They're saying pocket cleric. Urban Dragon Dice is calling it a Pocket Cleric. Reap Psyche says, as an IT person who has worked in a lot of courthouses, I can guarantee you that any plane of law would never have a network or computer as advanced as this. So, like, what I'm hearing is you go to an actual, like, network for an actual court, and it's just, like, the Konrasu's like, yes, I'm accessing the database, accessing it. This is a mess. Who did this? Why is this file put here? Who did this network? This is garbage.
All right, well, let's jump into the next one called Rite of Passage. Your exoskeleton remains connected with the plants that created it. You can ignore difficult terrain and uneven ground caused by undergrowth. In addition, when you use acrobatics skill to balance on narrow surfaces or uneven ground within forests, you aren't flat-footed. When you roll success attempting one of these acrobatic checks, you get a crit success instead.
Ooh, that's worth it.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm thinking Monk Konrasu or Ranger Konrasu. Scout Konrasu.
Oh yeah, like the
archetype.
I think there's some goodness there. Especially that archetype would help too. The big thing that makes it worth it is the automatic crit success.
Yeah.
All that the automatic, but when you succeed, it's a crit. That is really good. I'm curious. Let's see. Rite of Reinforcement. Your woven exoskeleton rivals the hardest armors that can be found. Oh, here comes the tank build. Your exoskeleton is medium armor in the plate armor group that grants a +4 item bonus to AC, dex cap of +1, with a check penalty of -2 and a speed of -5 feet, and a strength value of 16. And has the comfort trait. Oh, okay, cool. You can never wear other armor or remove your exoskeleton. You can etch armor runes onto your exoskeleton as normal. So this is where we start getting Warforged to a degree. Because now you're basically just in this badass, chunky suit of metal. And it is your skin. It's comfortable, so you can sleep in it and not get any penalties. Your body can be etched with runes, and then you're getting armor runes on your body.
I do have a question for this, though. Does this count for the monk's unarmored trait?
That is a very good question. I'm going to say no because your exoskeleton is medium armor in the plate armor group. So it does qualify as plate mail.
Fair.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would say, yeah, go ham. But it literally just says it effectively is plate mail.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely. What is it? Now I'm thinking. Once again, we're going back to that Overwatch game idea. Your Bastion when you're in tank mode.
Turret form. Yeah. Honestly, the Konrasu are just so great for all of the Omnics. Because here's the thing, if you get like a Konrasu cleric with like a little bit of monk, now you're Zenyatta. If you go ranger, fighter, gunslinger, whatever, now you're Bastion. If you go
Oracle, you're Zordon.
Well, he's not in Overwatch, but yeah, certainly. All right, let's go for the feats.
All right. Should I kick it off this time?
Kick it off.
All right. Well, we got. It's not a lore one for as a level 1 feat, surprisingly enough. This one's called Ceremony of Protection. One action. You manipulate your exoskeleton to overlap itself. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus until the start of your next turn. I would say this one, though, could actually work with that unarmored monk build.
Hold on, let me see this.
It feels like a stance, but not a stance, you know?
Yeah, I think this is it, because this just states you just get a +1 circumstance bonus to AC. It doesn't state that you have to have that one heritage to get this.
Yeah, kind of like you're raising a shield, essentially.
Kinda. It's like there was this old rule in 3.5 where there was this interlocking plate mail, and if you basically went like this, the plates would like lock in place, and it would give you bonuses to AC and resistance to like trample and bull rush.
PJ, I'm gonna go PG-13, almost R a little bit.
All right.
The cop piece slides up.
Oh, boo. um, Ceremony of the Evened Hand. I love the names for these guys. Like they have no chill. They operate at an 11 for everything. You have cultivated your exoskeleton's form for close combat using knots, whirls, and reinforced branches. When you select this feat, you get a claws unarmed attack that deals 1d4 slashing damage and has the agile finesse traits, or a branch unarmed attack that deals 1d6 bludgeoning and has the backswing trait. Each one of these unarmed attacks is in the brawling weapon group and uses one of your hands. Special, you can select this twice and choose the other unarmed strike attack. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this has monk written all over it.
Yeah, like it gives you options, and plus the fact that like you have the backswing trait already. So like if you miss and you swing again, you get more damage, or like you can hit a group of people. I forgot what the backswing trait does.
Let me look it up.
Something.
Let me look it
yeah.
up. You can use the momentum from a miss attack with this weapon to lead to your next attack. After missing with your weapon on your turn, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your next attack with the weapon before the end of your turn. So you're just more accurate with your second attack.
Yeah, but I think that's really cool. Like the fact that you have this unarmed attack that just gives you bonuses when you miss. Now, granted, you're working against the multiple attack penalty, but even still, it's all natural. You don't have to have like a scimitar for that.
Yeah.
All
right.
Nope. Got that lore skill now.
There's our lore skill. Konrasu lore, level 1 feat. You have learned about your history and your people from Shapers. Yeah, Shapers. You gain the trained proficiency rank in crafting and occultism. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in the skill of your choice. You also become trained in Konrasu lore.
I'm really curious about Konrasu lore because like there's such a really cool group of people that are embedded into a more powerful entity.
Yeah.
Holy, what the heck? Sorry, next one is Konrasu weapon familiarity. What is Konrasu weapons? You have taken upon yourself to learn the ways of combat to aid with your tasks, perhaps in a role as a corrector. You are trained with the composite short bow, glaive, long spear, long sword, short bow, and spear. You also gain access to all uncommon Konrasu weapons for the purpose of determining your proficiency. Konrasu weapons. Oh, the Bugang. The Bugang is the only Konrasu weapon, but what it is a one-hand, 1d4 slashing martial weapon that's in the sword group and it has the traits of agile, Konrasu, sweep, twin, and uncommon. Twin is dope. Basically, when you strike twice, you get bonus damage for having the second weapon attack. A blade of Konrasu design, a Bugang has a unique curved shape that allows it to rotate smoothly in the hand of a trained warrior. This spinning motion makes it easier to attack multiple foes at once with this weapon. That's a really good. I mean, it's low damage, but so much.
I'm looking it up, and I know I have a few friends who spin fire, and I have seen these before.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the like spinning fire poi. This is more like, for lack of a better word, and this I feel like this isn't correct. It's kind of like the blades that the Klingons use.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Urban Dragon Dice says they have weird spinning blades, right? The propeller blades. Yeah. I think that might be what it is, but it sounds like they actually hold the propeller blades and spin them with their hands. They're not like an actual turbine. It's more like a one piece of metal that they spin.
Yeah, it's like a S. It's shaped like an S, like a stylized S.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if it's like actually like that, but the description makes me think that's like that. Reap Psyche says, "Freaking boogang! These things get boogangs." I've spun this before. Those are the kind of trippy spinning things you do. Yeah,
usually they're like LEDs and let's see. I'm actually curious about the actual background of this weapon, like what culture it's from. Because I feel it's a cultural weapon. I feel
like, well, obviously in this universe, they're trying to say the Bugang is a weapon of the Konrasu, but I do feel like there is maybe an equivalent in Africa or something like that. Imagine a double-sided scimitar. Yep. I see what you're saying. Why don't we move on to the ceremony of knowledge? Do you have that one,
Yeah,
Akapa?
yeah. Jump
Alright.
into that. Let's see. Ceremony of Knowledge. This is a level 5 feat, and you tap into the Aeon's knowledge. You gain the untrained improvisational. Improvisational. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing that word.
Untrained improvisation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
what you
tough one.
A general feat. In addition, you can attempt skill actions that normally require you to be trained, even if you are untrained. And untrained improvisation. There we go. You're trained in. You learn how to handle situations when you're out of your depth. Your proficiency rank. Your proficiency bonus to untrained skill checks is equal to half your level instead of +0. So if you're a level 7 or higher, the bonus increases to your full level instead, and this doesn't allow you to use skill train actions. So let's see, say you're level 2, instead of a +0 proficiency bonus, you have a +1.
Yeah, no, this is one of the best feats in the game, hands down. If you have to take a level 3 general feat, get untrained improvisation, it's going to set you up for the rest of the game so that
Oh yeah.
you basically you're not like the guy who's legendary in something, but you're effectively at level 7 onward trained in everything.
Oh, yeah.
You just rock.
I would say the only I want to say 2 classes that you really don't need it is investigator or rogue.
Yeah, those investigator, rogue, and bard, because they get
Bard,
so
yeah.
many skill proficiencies that the things that they're not trained in, it doesn't matter. But the untrained improvisation is amazing because it basically functions like the jack of all trade bardic ability in the other system, but anyone can take it. So if you're like a fighter and you're just getting screwed on rolls, get this. At least you have something.
I want to say Rutha and Edge of Legend are game on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think I'm only untrained. I'll say we're level 4. I'm only untrained in 2 skills, just 2.
And that's untrained. If you want to take a feat, you could probably get them.
Yeah.
Another thing that makes Ceremony of Knowledge really dope. This is a level 5 feat, level 5 feat, by the way. Is that not only do you get untrained improvisation for free, the best feat, especially at level like 1 or 3, but you can also get the ability to make checks to do stuff that you can only do if you're trained. So you literally have nothing holding. You can do everything with this feat for the Konrasu. That's really good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Ceremony of Sunlight.
Oh, you're gonna like this one. You're gonna like this one.
I like the sun. Actually, ironically, PJ hates the sun. I love the moon, but I love sun powers. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of religious trauma there. Ceremony of Sunlight, 5th level feat. You have learned how to master the power contained within sunlight, just like the trees that form your body. Your sunlight healing recovers 1d8 hit points per level. It's no longer a level 10 casting of heal. It is now 1d8 per level of your character.
So at level 20, that means 20d8?
20d8 healing to you or another person if you take that right. Oh, that is disgusting, and I love it.
Like I said, I saw that. I was like, PJ's gonna like it. PJ's gonna like it.
Ah, look, there are 2 things I like doing: hurting people and healing people. Again, I'm sure there's some religious trauma there, but like that is so good. That is insanely good.
Urban Dragon Dice posted Konrasu make scary good clerics and champions. Dude, totally. Yeah. Alright, next up, we are in the level 5s. This is Konrasu Weapon Understanding. You've come to know Konrasu weapons as you know yourself. Whenever you critically hit using a composite short bow, glaive, long spear, longsword, short bow, spear, or a Konrasu weapon, the Bugang, you apply the weapon's crit specialization effect.
I'm trying to figure out what the Bugang's crit special effect is. Well, it did say it was a sword, so its crit special effect is probably what the sword...
Yeah.
No, wait.
No, it is.
Yeah. The target's made off balance. They become flat-footed until the end of your next turn. That's still really useful to have. Okay, next up, we're going to skip it. Fey Influence. Yay, they get Primal Magic. Dude, everyone's
Actually,
getting
wait,
fan
PJ,
influence.
before you continue on, I think another class that we kind of just been glossing over that's really good for Konrasu, Druid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're natural wisdom casters. High constitution gives them bonuses on poison resistance.
Because, yeah, imagine a Fey influenced Konrasu.
Ooh. Well, the good thing is just by being a druid, they're going to get
Yeah.
druid spells and primal magic. It's interesting because so much about them is like the law of the universe and healing, like taking like the cosmic rays and healing people. I kind of like the idea that they've been in a tree so long that now they
are a
are.
tree.
Yeah. Oh
They're
my.
Treebeard. They're sci-fi Treebeard.
They're the Great Deku Tree.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I love that too much.
yeah. Instead of two eyes, instead that one, glowing orb thing, like it's kind of like a cyclops.
Urban Dragon Dice makes a really good point. They do have that potential to get the natural plate armor, which may be a problem for the druid because I don't believe they're allowed to wear metal.
Yeah.
But normally, if you don't take that trait, if you don't take that heritage trait, then you shouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, you could.
They're still just made of wood.
You could be a heavily armored, druid by being the Konrasu and taking up that heritage.
Yeah. Reap Psyche says, F the Daystar. Agreed. Avenging Penguin says, all hail lunacy. The moon is the night guardian. That's right. Guardian of the nighttime.
Oh, PJ.
Oh, Urban Dragon Dice, praise the sun. We have a night fight, day fight happening.
PJ, imagine the wild shapes that a Konrasu could take.
Yeah, Reap Psyche was just putting that up there, too. That'd be so... Could you... Ooh,
A wolf with
if you played...
I was gonna say a wolf made out of wood, and instead of it's like two regular eyes, it's that glowing ball thing.
I was gonna say, imagine if you will, in Destiny 1 and 2, the Fallen, how they're kind of like this really weird ghostly people that like take on forms. So it's almost like a fallen bear or a fallen wolf, or this like ephemeral, ghostly, spiritual wolf with like this cosmic eyeball.
Yeah.
Also, Urban Dragon Dice says, but it's natural, so it's fine, right? So first of all, the heritage does state that it functions as plate armor from the medium group. So I'd have to say it functions as plate mail effectively, which is why it doesn't work for the monk and the barbarian, and why it probably wouldn't work so well for the druid. But the good thing about that heritage is it works great for clerics, champions, fighters.
I would
Rangers.
argue for the druid because it's wood. It even says it's not metal.
Yeah, but
But
like,
you do need to
I
take
don't
that
know.
proficiency, maybe. You might have to take the proficiency, but the limitation of you can't wear metal armor is
Well,
costly.
well, let me see, because like looking at the right of reinforcements, your exoskeleton is medium armor in the plate armor group. So that's the thing that makes me question, because it doesn't say that one right is made of wood. In fact, it says it's in the plate group, which means the sturdy plate provides no purchase for a cutting edge. You get resistance to slashing damage, 1 plus the value of the armor's potency. That's if you get the armor specializations.
Let's do the 2 feats we have before that, and then we'll jump into that one. Okay?
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Because we have more to go through, and it's that time actually. So we're at the ceremony of
Aeon's Guidance.
Yeah, we're in the level 9 stuff now.
Yeah. I think it's yours.
Okay. Your patron Aeon has allowed you to call upon their gifts to serve their ends. You cast Augury and Calm Emotions each day as 2nd level spells. So Augury is really good if you've never really had a chance to use it. It's kind of a spell that lets you plug or kind of ask the GM for what's about to happen later. You get Wheel and Woe, and nothing. Wheel is good, Woe is bad, Wheel and Woe is a bit of both, and nothing is nothing. So you kind of get some information about the campaign, and Calm Emotions does just that. It kind of it changes your... So there's a spectrum on how you feel about people. It goes from hostile to friendly, and Calm Emotions basically kind of like takes you through that spectrum to a more favorable thing. Plus, it gives you penalties to attack rolls against targets and other things like that.
It's this feat is very leans towards turning your Konrasu into a cleric or a champion. Very much.
See that? I feel like it's. I don't know about cleric or champion. I feel like it's more either bard, druid, or just really anyone in general who wants to be a knowledge-based character and a social character, actually, if you think about it.
Fair. All right, next one is another level 9 feat called Ceremony of Aeon's Shield. Your patron Aeon grace you with the powers of protection. You can cast Resist Energy and Shield Other, each once per day as a second level divine innate spell. Free spell, free magic, good magic.
Free magic, best magic, and I love this because this is really great if you want to play the tank Konrasu. With a 10 HP, the bonus to Constitution, this now makes you the team buff tank. With the resist energy obviously giving you like straight up resistance to damage, and shield other spells, which gives them the ability to basically have resistance against attack as a reaction.
Or cleric bard. If you want to be a buffer?
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't... Clerics I could see. Bard, not... The bard buffs are a little different. But I can definitely see the idea of buffing in general would definitely lead someone to make a bard. Next up, Ceremony of Fortification. You have to have the Ceremony of Protection as a prerequisite. Your exoskeleton arranges itself into an optimal defensive shape. When you use your Ceremony of Protection, you also gain resistance to either bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage equal to half your level against the next strike that hits you, and deals one of those types of damages until the start of your next turn. So that ability at level 1 that lets you basically kind of hunker in place and get a +1 to your AC, no matter what your armor is, now you get free resistance, and the next strike that hits you and deals one of those types of damages is... Until the start of your basically just hunker down in place, choose what you want to be resistant to, and you get it for a whole turn.
Yeah, you pretty much turn yourself into like a porcupine, basically, if you want to become a stabby boy. And also, I love the fact that you choose either bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. So you have a choice between those three.
Like if you're fighting someone who has a lot of bludgeoning damage, you can just shut down their entire offensive game plan.
PJ. Now I'm envisioning if they went Druid Konrasu with this feat tree. When they use the ceremony, they're essentially becoming a Zord. Not Zord, Zoid. A Zoid. Remember that? A Zoid.
Yeah. I still like they could definitely do that. I mean, that was not getting big, but why don't we take... I think it's Ceremony of the Strengthened Hand at this point.
Yeah. Ceremony of the Strengthened Hand, level 9 feat. Your exoskeleton's weapons are even more potent. If you have a claws unarmed attack, it gains a deadly D8 trait. If you have a branch unarmed attack, it gains the shove and trip traits. Shove and trip, especially trip.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of. If you watch Edge of Legend, tripping all the time. All the time.
I hate to say it. I hate myself that I want to say this, but Rufa be tripping.
There, that's my t-shirt. That's my t-shirt.
Rufa be tripping. What I like about that ability is it takes that initial weapon, that unarmed weapon that you get, and it kind of enhances the problems. Like the 1d4 is nice, but it's kind of weak. Now you get an extra d8 damage when you crit. The other d6 is nice. The backswing is nice. You know, it's a very good thing, but it does kind of give you limitations. It's a branch. You should have some reach to it. Having trip and shove is going to make that, give it so much more utility.
Oh yeah. Also, once again, what is it? The Konrasu monk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very good point. You can just do flurry of blows with your...
Yeah.
Just slapping them with your branch.
Urban Dragon Dice posted Druid Train Medium, and their Anathema only says metal armor. It's legit, and they are proficient.
Yeah, so my issue, Urban Dragon Dice, isn't the proficiency, because the medium armor is fine. My problem is that it specifically states that their skin becomes metal armor in the plate group. So I'm sorry, medium armor in the plate group. So like, I think this is something that needs more debate. And heck, you know what? Have the debate in the chat. If you find us on YouTube, like go in the comments and debate. Does this ability function, because it says plate, does it mean it's metal, or does it mean it functions like it, but it's not?
I would argue not, because I believe, I'm not sure, I think Duskwood is a material in the Pathfinder world,
Mm-hmm.
and you can make plate armor out of that. It's not considered metal.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You make a good point. Duskwood is one of those materials that does it. I want to say there's also leaf armor where they
Yeah,
take leaves and it's almost like padded leather or almost
yeah.
like metal.
Hey,
So
yeah.
you could be right.
Hey, somebody, you know what? Was it a retweet? Not retweet. Yeah, at somebody at Paizo, and add us on that tweet.
That's
Let us
right.
know.
Let us know. Um, Next up, we have Ceremony of Growth. I believe this is the first of 2 or 3 level 13 feats for the Konrasu. You can alter your exoskeleton size. You constantly gain the effect of Enlarge. You can dismiss or resume this effect as an action, which has the Concentrate trait. You can always be enlarged.
PJ.
What?
I'm going back to that Power Rangers well and go, make my monster grow.
God bless. But what's great about this is that you get reach bonuses, you get bonus damage melee. Like, no matter what you are, you're just doing more of it. Like,
Yeah,
this is really good.
this is, oh man, it's having the barbarian's giant instinct without
Mhm.
having any of the downside of having barbarian giant instinct.
Yeah, I agree. You're not dealing with the clumsy one, at least
Yeah.
not too much. Let's skip the Konrasu weapon expertise because all it does is grants you expert greater proficiency in everything we've already covered.
All right, then I will take the capstone, it seems. This is a feat at level 17. It's called Ceremony of Sun's Gift. Your connection to the sun has become an unbreakable bond. You don't become temporarily immune to the effects of your sunlight healing, and instead, rolling to recover hit points, you gain the maximum number of hit points possible. For example, 64 HP instead of 8d8. And
But
this is essentially somebody posted in chat. I'm not sure where, but yeah. Oh, Urban Dragon Dice, praise the sun.
praise the damn sun.
Praise the sun.
This is amazing. This is insane. The ability only worked once a day, right? Oh, you do it once for 10 minutes and you're immune. At level 17, and if you get the other feat, the oh god, what is it? The Ceremony of the Sun's Get Power or whatever.
Yeah.
That means you're doing 20d8 every 10 minutes.
Oh, and then you have the
That's
whole,
insane.
you can heal others with this ability, so you're just basically
Yeah.
shooting beams of healing light. You are care bearing your allies.
And what's cool about it is you're doing max healing. Now, they may be immune to it. So once a day, you're giving everyone in your party 20d8. Hold on. You're giving 160 HP of healing at level 20 to everyone else. You never need a cleric again for yourself. You're just constantly giving yourself a flat 160 every 10 minutes.
You literally become almost the perfect heal bot.
You really do. This is bonkers. I love how bonkers this is.
Oh man.
Man, so I have to say this. I did not expect going into this how amazing these ancestries are going to be. A lot of times we cover some ancestries, and they either give a specific build that's a little like, okay, that's fun, or like one power that's really good, but then maybe not good. But the Konrasu, oh my god, the Konrasu.
Yeah. Ooh, when it
What
comes
a
to
monster.
healing,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I want to say, if you build a Konrasu cleric,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're one of the best healers in the game, or at least
Seriously.
but one of the best healing builds if done correctly.
If you become a Konrasu war cleric of any healing font entity, yeah, with your bonus to con, wisdom, one more of your choice. I mean, charisma may affect how many bonus healing fonts you have, but it's ridiculous.
But you know what? After level 1, if you just pump all your ability boosts into charisma,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry that much.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, okay, so you take a -2 penalty, but your background can easily fix that.
Yeah.
So like it's a net whatever. And then um as you level up, yeah, you can make it one of the 4 stats you put up every time.
Hmm.
It might not be level 20, but let's be honest, do you really need like 10 free healing fonts? The answer is yes, but it's insane.
Oh, such a
It's just
Konrasu
amazing.
can be a disgusting healer,
I
and
love it.
disgusting in a good way. So,
Just
really quick, PJ,
oh.
final thoughts between the Nanzi and the Konrasu.
So the Anadi have some really fun lore to play with. They
Hmm.
are definitely setting you up for a personality type. And I don't want to say trope, but type. You have amazing opportunities with their natural poisons to have great burst damage with rogues, with monks, with literally anything, and still have amazing potential for face character work and fun role play with changing into other people. Um, and so for that end, I give the Anadi a huge like 5-star review.
Hmm.
Anadi monk, Anadi rogue, it's amazing. And their free magic is insane. The Konrasu is such a powerful knowledge-based character that heals, that could also very easily tank with their 10 HP, high con, and even natural armor. And looking at the rules as written again for the right of reinforcement, the exoskeleton is medium armor, and the plate armor group. I think we've all kind of landed on the idea, and this may be wrong, that even though it functions like plate for the armor specialization, it may not actually be made of metal.
Hmm.
While that's debatable, going with the fact that it's not made of metal, not only is this thing an amazing tank for champion, for fighter if you want to, but it could be an amazing healer for druid and cleric as well. Um, Covering 2 major parts of a team's makeup with one character at any time. It's it's so powerful. I don't know
Oh,
what to do.
definitely. I think you said it best with the whole Nanzi stuff. I also want to put down that the Nanzi, their options in mobility, their ability to fight in a 3D space is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it, because especially for players who are very tactical minded, who honestly, for me, it's if you do combat where, oh, they're all standing in a perfect line and you just, on your turn you're gonna hit, your turn you're gonna hit, blah blah blah. That's boring. But then we're fighting a 3D space where, all right, so I need to go here, here, and then I go up above, or I need to plan out up to 2 to 3 rounds ahead of time. The Nanzi gives you those options, and I am loving. I am here for it. For the Konrasu, same with you, PJ. Such good healer. Honestly, they're good spellcasters. Let's just say this: spellcasters, great. Um, even even as wizards or sorcerers, they can actually be pretty useful, I believe. You
I
know?
think so. Yeah, yeah, I definitely see it. And they can be tanky at that
Yeah.
too, which is exciting to have a sorcerer or a wizard or a witch walk into battle and go, "I got this front line. It's all good."
Hmm.
Um,
Ooh, now, dude, I just thought of something. Spellcaster Konrasu, because they have defensive options, plant them right in the middle thick of things, and
oh
then
yeah.
area AOE attack spells.
I'm just seeing, and I love just like the idea of these sentient space robots, just functioning like that. I love it. Anyway, well, it's about that time we have to
Hmm.
call it a day. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. We're so glad that some of you in the chat absolutely know and love the Mwangi Expanse, and some of you that don't know, you're learning how amazing these ancestries are and everything else. And hopefully, for a little while, we'll get to cover what we can. So until then, we'll hope to see you next week. Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, as always, I am the dashing dastardly Michael Pow, and you can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is at Mr. Kapow, that's MrKapao, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Pow Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff, like my YouTube channel, Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am on Twitch via the Toyzilla Network Twitch channel for a show called Toyzilla Live, where we talk a lot about toy news and a lot of like nostalgia geek fun. So hope to see you there. And how about you, PJ?
Oh, my name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Come find me. Let's have a good time. Let's become friends. When I'm here with Mr. Michael Powell on Tuesdays, you can find me Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the second edition homebrew show, Edge of Legend. Pathfinder second edition homebrew show, Edge of Legends. And we are coming back just off a big win as our resident luchador warrior, Ichi Papakui, has reclaimed her title back. And now, with that little side quest done and a great amount of magical items gained and good times had by all, we're going back to the Green War. The World War Orc is spreading, and it's about time for the heroes to decide what their next step is as they try to save the world from impending doom. So we hope to see you there tomorrow night, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, I guess we'll see you same that time, same that channel here at the table.
Bye!
Bye!